which is one of the first vintage decks to like run creatures.
Yes, it's kind of odd because Noble Fish is more of a fair deck, but he's not really playing a fair deck today.
Offering his opponent some gummy bears.
Well, that's
and
fair.
His opponent, Tim Akpinar, playing Blue-White Miracles, more of a traditional list that we were used to from a couple months ago.
Not so much, to be honest. He's only running 1 Entreat the Angels, so it's more so a Blue-White Helm of Obedience with the 1 Entreat the Angels. Yeah, so I would probably call it more of a Blue-White control, Blue-White, because he has the combo. He has the Rest in Peace Helm of Obedience combo in it.
Yeah,
you know?
the most important thing here being 4 main deck Force of Wills.
Yeah, 4 Force of Wills, 4 Brainstorms. He obviously has the counterbalances.
Doesn't have a Force of Will in hand here, though.
Yeah, his hand is a counterbalance, counterspell, a really shiny island.
That is an extremely shiny island.
Swords to Plowshare. Really not going to do too much here unless, you know, maybe Mike has to play out like a Timberwall or whatnot. Right. But the Goblin Charbelcher could really kill very quick.
Yes.
You know, you bust out a Charbelcher, activate it. Sure, there's a chance he bricks off. He hits the 1 Taiga too early, but most likely not.
Yeah, Mike is playing one Taiga in his deck. He's playing 1 land, which is 100% more. Actually, infinite percent more than a couple of the decks we've seen on camera already.
Yeah, and I mean, he is running the 4 land Grand Seal, so that's something very common. Show my opponent my hand, slight drawback, but you're able to go fetch out the 1 Taiga.
And there's
speaking of
the
that,
land grant, and he's got the Belcher. Let's see if he has the requisite amount of mana. So he's got 1, 2, 3.
Did Mike mulligan this game? Or no?
No.
Can I get confirmation?
He's just
he did mulligan.
Oh, he did mulligan 6.
That would make sense. I thought there was a small chance that he forgot to draw off probe or not, whatnot. So there's a Taiga, there's a probe. Wow, this is a really, really good hand.
So we have Taiga, Elvish Spirit Guide, Desperate Ritual. There's no more mana after that.
So he's 1 mana short from dropping a Charbelcher this turn.
Yes.
But this is a really, really good hand. We'll see if Tim can draw into something. We'll find out shortly.
Yeah, he's got another bite at the apple, even if he whiffs. Well, he's whiffed so far, so.
So I think Tim either wants to write down his hand, or Mike's just like, you know what, I'm going to play face up. Why not?
Well, he's got a couple other draws to try and get there.
There's a Simian Spirit Guide.
So he's got it. So he can play out the Belcher. He doesn't have the activation yet.
Exactly. Well, he's going to be able to cycle. So we'll see if he finds another mana ramp spell.
Yeah, if he finds a Lion's Eye Diamond, this will be the end.
Yep. Let's see.
I'm not sure that anything else can add 3 mana like that, however.
Can you make out what he drew? It looks like another Simian Spirit Guide, maybe.
That's possible. Yeah. That would put him... Would that be enough?
Well, Mike definitely wants to play Mike wants to play out this Charbelcher because he doesn't want Tim to draw into a Forcible.
Correct. He might be able to play it this turn and then activate it next turn with the Spirit Guide that he has in hand.
Sure.
I didn't do the complete math. He's got 2 in his pool right now. 3, 4. Yeah, he'll have 1 Spirit Guide in hand if that last card's a Spirit Guide.
All right. So there's a Charbelcher. Yep. Tim says thumbs up. Mike knew his hand. Tim draws. Oh, he just drew the Force of Will. Wow.
So, but this is interesting though.
It's a very good draw.
That's a very good draw because Tim also, well, he does not have the. There's a Lotus Petals. This is going to get forced.
Yeah, he has to force this because it's just so likely that Mike could just draw into an Elvish Spirit Guide, a Simian Spirit Guide,
which he has is the other card. So he has to.
He has to force this, and he does just that.
Yes.
And he pitches Counterspell.
That's a weird one.
Yeah, kind of interesting.
I don't know if he has any other blue cards in hand.
Well, the other one was the Counterbalance that we saw.
Oh.
Yeah.
Counterbalance is good because it can counter both Lion's Eye Diamond and Lotus Petal if he drops it.
Yeah, I mean...
It will not, however, be able to counter...
I think I would rather have the Counterspell in hand. I'm not sure, though.
I don't know, it's close.
Yeah, it is really close. I think the Counterspell is actually safer.
The Counterspell is way safer, but this definitely shuts off Lotus Petal, Lion's Eye Diamond, Chrome Mox also.
Yes.
Whereas if Mike had drawn into Tinderwall, Rite of Flame, or Pyretic Ritual...
Alright, so there's the Tundra he's going to search up. Interesting, Tim has a Dust Ball. Sometimes you see Dust Ball, sometimes you don't see Dust Ball.
Yeah, Dust Ball's an interesting one. It's a lot better now that players are...
The Tension Sphere, that is awesome.
Not really that often is that relevant.
Yeah, exactly, but here, very, very relevant. And Tim's in great shape this game.
Yep.
Yeah. Mike...
He looked in trouble, but...
I mean, Mike's had to be under 5% to win this game.
At this point, I would say so.
Now, some of you guys were asking about AJ Soccer. He's in the other off-camera feature match, the third one.
He's in one of the off-camera feature matches.
So there's a chance he'll be featured this round. Most likely next round.
Most likely we'll get him next round.
Exactly.
Assuming he does not want to draw in.
Well, I mean,
he's X
and 1.
That's right.
So he's gonna have to win, and then play his win and in.
Yeah, actually, Dustin Taylor is our off-camera feature match.
Dustin Taylor, X
and he's up against Amin Youns.
And you saw both those guys already.
Yes, but
Team America.
Team America and
you did deck with Dustin as well.
I did a deck. Well, it's not Team America. It's American
Delver. Sure. Yeah.
Because Team America for some reason is a bug deck that has Tombstalker in it. Yeah. Well. By for some reason, I mean I know why, but I don't have to tell that story. Anyway, American Delver, and then Amin has the Charlotte's bug. All right, so that should be a cool match too.
Definitely, Ruben. So Mike just passes the turn. Tim passes back. It's just, I mean, Tim has half his combo already.
Yeah.
But not so much. He doesn't need to win right away. He just has to make sure Mike doesn't win.
Right.
There's Lion's Eye Diamond. So he's gonna check with the counterbalance. Hopefully, there's just a land on top.
It's a counterbalance.
No, it's another counterbalance. That's fine. You know, it's not the best card, but hey, if he draws a Force of Will, something to pitch.
I also like that, I mean, Mike is not in a great spot, but it's not like he's facing down any pressure at all.
Yeah, but I mean, the longer the game goes, the worse it is for Mike.
Yeah.
Tim's going to build up counterspell, he's going to build up some card manipulation.
But Tim also has, you know, he's got things like Swords to Plowshares in his deck
that he could just break off. Yeah. All right, you going to check with counterbalance. Ooh, there's a Brainstorm. Blind flip.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to blind flip against Belcher a lot of the time.
Yeah, for sure. And Tim just passes, holding on to that Brainstorm.
And that's going to be a pretty good lockout against the Lion's Eye Diamonds.
I think I would probably Brainstorm in response to this Lotus Petal.
To try and counter this Lotus Petal?
Oh, okay, he's just going to blind flip, and there's an island. Tim will draw the island and probably just play the island right here.
Nope, he wants to keep the island to be able to Brainstorm and put it on top.
Sure, I mean, I saw Tim have at least one Swords. It looked like 2, so probably want to throw those away as well.
He wants to save those in case Mike plays a bunch of 1s.
Yeah. Now, speaking of AJ, do you have confirmation of what AJ is playing or not yet?
Against or?
Just in general, what is AJ?
What he's playing? He's playing Rug Delver.
Rug Delver, awesome, yeah.
Which is a deck that was the most popular deck like 2 months ago.
But not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah. But in a combo-heavy metagame like we have here in New Jersey, it seems like an okay choice. And clearly it's doing well for him.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so Tim just is fine with playing the draw go. Definitely favors him.
I think Mike just found a Belcher.
All right, but yeah, I mean,
but he's trying to build up a critical mass here.
But it's going to be still very difficult for him.
Yeah.
Now it looks like Tim just drew a Dust Ball.
Oh man.
He could just use it pretty much as an expensive wasteland because, as you know, Mike only has 1 land in his deck.
I don't know why you wouldn't just sack the Dust Ball there.
Yeah.
Considering he's playing a 1-land Belcher.
Yeah, maybe Tim just
probably irrelevant.
Yeah, it's definitely irrelevant.
Yeah, he just realized it.
Yeah, gave a little smile.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, usually this Dust Ball I don't want to sack.
Right. Any future Bayous that come out of Mike's deck are pretty unlikely.
Now Tim could definitely start playing some of his extra lands out. There's an island and they'll just pass the turn.
Yeah, this is just going to be in case he miracles and treat the Angels to be able to end the game quicker.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Another Lion's Eye.
Yeah, that's fine. Just flip your counterbalance, see what happens, see if you hit a land. And it is a land. Fluid Delta. The draw. He should probably just play his Fluid Delta. And now this is a perfect time to play a Brainstorm. He finally hit a sack land. That's what he was waiting for.
Yep.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Force of Will.
Energy Field is a lock.
Energy Field's a pretty nice
Rest
one.
in Peace is a lock.
Yep. Energy Field. Just in case you guys are not sure what Energy Field does. 1 colorless, 1 blue enchantment. Prevent all damage dealt to you from sources you do not control. The drawback is, whenever a card is put into your graveyard, sacrifice Energy Field. However, with Rest in Peace, no card will ever go to your graveyard.
So you never take damage.
So it's essentially a hard lock until you kill the Rest in Peace or the Energy Field.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a card that I enjoy a lot. It's because it's the only mono blue control is the only deck that I've top 8'd a Star City Open.
Oh,
with.
really?
So,
okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Did you have Energy Field in your deck?
I had Energy Field in my deck.
All right, nice.
Didn't have Rest in Peace though, which is the new part of the combo. Although these days I probably would.
Yeah. Now,
probably explaining to Mike what's happening here.
Yeah. Now, what outs does Mike actually have? Does he have any outs? He has Burning Wish in his deck, so anything in his sideboard maybe.
It looks like he has a Hull Breach in the sideboard and a Reverent Silence. However, the Reverent Silence isn't going to be free because he no longer has a forest.
Yes.
So the Hull Breach is actually the cheaper option.
Okay.
The problem with Hull Breach is that it costs red-green, so he does still need to get to 2 mana, cast the Hull Breach, and then also get up the requisite amount of mana to be able to kill Tim.
Yeah, with the Char Belcher, and he has to do all this through a counterbalance.
Through a counterbalance.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem likely.
Now, normally Reverend Silent would be free if you had a forest, just give your opponent 6 life.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
What's 6 life between Belcher friends?
Yeah, exactly. You know, when you're belchering out your opponent, it's going to do a lot more than 20 damage for the most part.
So now Tim just has to sit back and wait for either Entreat the Angels or Helm of Obedience to be able to win this game.
Or even a Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Jace the Mind Sculptor, yeah.
Just, you know, try to get the ultimate.
Enlightened Tutor will also do well.
All right, a second counterbalance.
Just in case.
Yeah. Could have held on to it for his Force of Will.
Yeah, Reverent Silence actually is very good against Tim.
It
as
really
you can
is.
see, he has 5 enchantments in play.
A 5-for-1 right here would be. All right, Mike Noble just discards that land grant. Doesn't have any more lands in his deck. Another Detention Sphere.
That could take out this Lion's Eye Diamond, although I don't think it needs to. I'd rather keep it as the blue card for Force of Will.
Exactly, yeah. And I think Mike is just, you know, just thinking, is there any way he can win? Also, you know, if time runs out, it really favors Mike because it takes a while for Tim to win.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that Mike doesn't want the game to go so long that Tim's just going to win 1-0.
We found a Entreat the Angels,
Yep.
though.
Finally, Entreat the Angels.
That's going to be for 5.
He could have just done it for 4, to be honest. Left up with an extra mana just because Mike's life's at 16 life. So, you know, Mike will definitely lose some life playing some of his own spells, sacking some lands. You know, well, not sacking lands, playing Cataxian Probe. Yeah. All right. So there are the Star City Games Angels.
Yep.
Tim looks very happy. He's like, yeah, these are really cool angel tokens.
Yeah, that's right. That artist, Kristen Pleskow, will be at the Grand Prix in Charlotte.
Awesome.
So if you have angel tokens of your own, or soldiers, or various other types,
bring them, autograph them,
bring them, and get them signed.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Mike Noble's going to try and go for it here.
I mean, he has to. It's the last turn.
Tim's tapped out. It's the last turn.
Yeah, he's tapped out. But Force of Will, counterbalance. It's gonna be tough. And he has to break through.
Oh,
the
rest in peace on top. Jeez.
Yeah. All right, and that's game. Mike Noble is scooping it up, and game 1 goes to Tim.
That's right.
All right, so Tim with his blue-white control deck does have an Entreat the Angel, has 3 Jace the Mind Sculptors, and of course he has the combo with Rest in Peace, the Helm of Obedience combo, and of course the Energy Field combo.
Yep, and he's got a lot of cards to be able to take out, but what's he going to bring in?
I mean, you know, he doesn't really want those Swords to Plowshares at all. He doesn't want those Terminuses. I mean, maybe he's worried about the Empty the Warrens. We'll see what happens, but, you know, Energy Field plus Rest in Peace handles it. He definitely wants to bring in a Vidalian Click, you know? You might think, oh, Vidalian Click, 3 mana, maybe a little bit slow, but, you know, when Tim has Force of Will, he has some other cheap counter spells, he can survive. Vidalian Click really works as a disruption spell. Also, Spell Pierce. Why not Spell Pierce, am I right? Also, another really good card, Aethersworn Canonist.
Yeah, Aethersworn Canonist is a really good one. Not so good against Belcher as compared to the other first turn combo decks.
Yeah, like Storm or something.
Storm, because Mike is equipped with Lotus Petal, Lion's Eye Diamond, and
Simian Spirit Guides and whatnot. Okay.
And things like that. But it's still very good because, you know, Gitaxian Probe, Burning Wish, those kind of things.
Yeah, and another card that's awesome against Goblin Charbelcher, Pithing Needle.
Yes.
You know, for 1 mana, you're obviously going to need Pithing Needle. Even if they bust out an early Goblin Charbelcher, they're going to have to deal with that needle before they are able to activate it.
Over on Mike's side, we have Xantid Swarm as a 4-of in the sideboard, as well as Pyroblast.
Ooh, okay.
Both of those are... You want both of those. The problem with Belcher decks is what do you take out?
Exactly. I was just about to say that. You know?
And so he is overloaded on ways to deal with counter spells and ways to deal with counterbalance.
Yes.
But what do you take out is the main problem here.
Yeah, what do you take out?
If he takes out his Empty the Warrens, then he runs the risk of just being stone cold to apply the needle, except for Burning Wish for Hull Breach.
Exactly.
If you take out any of your mana, then you run the risk of being clogged with sideboard cards in hand.
Yep.
I would actually not be surprised to see Mike only bring in one or the other.
Yeah. Okay. Or what do you think about a split? Could that ever be good?
A split's okay. I think that on the play you want Xantid Swarm, and on the draw you want Pyroblast.
Okay, I was actually thinking that Pyroblast might just be better overall than Xanthian Swarm, just because of the counterbalance.
Sure.
You know, because even if Mike attacks with the Xanthian Swarm, counterbalance still has a trigger, correct?
That's right, yes.
But if he has a Pyroblast, he could just, end of turn, I'll Pyroblast your counterbalance, I'll untap, and then try to go off.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a little toss and turn.
It's a little shaky.
Sure. Yeah,
I'm not an expert on Belcher. I would have to defer to some other players out there.
Yes, exactly.
So, but it's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see how Mike does it, because, as we mentioned, Mike is a legacy and vintage player. Yeah. He's very familiar with the old formats. I would be interested to hear his opinion on how about to go against a deck like Blue-White Control that not only has Force of Will, because that's clearly what Pyroblast is for, and Xanthian Swarm is for Xanthian Swarm is for the Force of Wills. Pyroblast is for the counterbalance.
Yeah, and also Pyroblast kind of works for both. If he has extra mana that one turn when he's going off,
yes.
Just Raylan has extra red, yeah, Pyroblast your Force of Will, Pyroblast your counter spell.
It does seem like he's a little bit overloaded on answers for counter spells, but that's literally the only thing you care about in Belcher.
Yeah. You care about this card
but
spells.
By the same token, like, why wouldn't, if you can't take out 8 cards,
yes,
you can't put in 8 cards.
Yeah.
And so why wouldn't you just have 4 more wish targets?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And so, I don't know. Again, I'm not an expert on this particular archetype.
So speaking of that, do you think you should maybe trim on some of the sorceries so you could, put those sorceries in the sideboard? I think a wish for those sorceries.
I don't think there's anything in the main deck that he wants to wish for.
Okay.
And so he can keep all the 4-ofs that he has in the main deck, but his sideboard can be a little bit more of free spells. For example, he could put Cave In or Pulverize in the sideboard to be able to deal with Affinity or other Empty the Warrens decks, things like that. So those are just other options. But I mean, I definitely like Xanthian Swarm because obviously Tim's taking out all of his creature.
Yeah, he's not going to have Source of Plowshares.
So a Xanthian Swarm has to be Force of Will.
Yeah, if he does have a Terminus, he'll have 1 Terminus in his deck. Yeah. That's about it. Now, do you think it's out of the question for Mike to trim on some of his Burning Wishes? Or do you think it's a possibility?
That's interesting.
Yeah, normally for me, when I used to play with Wishes, I really liked them for game 1, but then for after, game 2 or game 3, I'll just board out my Wishes and kind of just make my deck the way I want it to be and not really worry about the Burning Wishes. Because sometimes Burning Wish, Cunning Wish, Living Wish, a little slow.
Right. The problem, of course, being that Tim's deck is based around Enlightened Tutor.
Yep.
And so he's got a lot of other targets to be able to go get based on the situation, either Pied Needle or either Sworn Canonist.
Yep.
So there's a little bit of give and take. I would, I think I would be loath to cut Burning Wish.
Okay.
But it's an interesting option.
It's an idea.
And it's probably it's not bad. I'm not trying to poo-poo you.
Oh no, it's okay. I've been poo-pooed many times.
So
we'll see what happens. So both players are thinking. I mean, it looks like Mike kept, and now Tim is going to ship it and go down to 6.
Yeah, Tim's probably being on the draw. Tim is probably just
looking for a Force of Will. Yeah, he either wants a Force of Will or he just wants really early cards like a Aethersworn Canonist or Spell Pierce.
Right.
Yeah, Spell Pierce is really good against the Goblin Charm Belcher deck because Mike Noble is so tight on his mana most of the time.
Yeah, I think that Tim got pretty lucky to be able to beat the deck, the Charbelcher on the play, game 1 with no Force of Will.
Yeah, Mike mulliganed and Tim had a lucky draw or 2, so that's how it goes. Tim's looking at his 6, he's thinking, maybe
I'll try it.
All right,
is what he says.
So he decides to keep, and we'll see how this game plays out. So Mike Noble will be on the play. There's the Lion's Eye Diamond. There's a Lotus Petal. Ooh, wow, this is an awesome hand for Mike.
It sure is.
I think he can kill him on turn 1.
I think he has the turn 1 kill if Tim does not have the Force of Will.
So 4, 6, 7.
He only needs 4 because he can use the Lion's Eye Diamond to activate. So
he gets the land. No, that's 3. Yeah, that's 4.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's 4. Yep. And so he counted it up, and
Tim doesn't even, use any of his bluffing skills that he might have. Lots of times, you want to keep I'll keep, even if you're just bluffing the Force Will. But once again, we see another turn 1 kill in Legacy. This is not really that common. People talk about, my deck kills in turn 1. Not really. But today it's actually been...
that's exactly what it is.
Or at least on the camera matches.
So, what have we had now? 4 or 5?
I think before this it was like 3 or 4, so it's probably about 4 or 5 turn 1/turn 1.5/turn 2 kills.
Sure.
Yeah, because sometimes your opponent goes turn 1 Grizzlebrand with a Forcible backup.
And that might as well be a turn 1 kill. Exactly.
Not technically a turn 1 kill, but we could put it in the books for it. Why not?
When last week clearly the deck of the tournament was Jund, everyone was like, "What's the best way to deal with Jund?"
Combo.
Unfair things.
Yeah, and I was talking to Zach about this. The SCG Opens really define the metagame, not only for the future SCG Opens, but for Grand Prix and lots of times for Pro Tours.
Yes.
There's a Pro Tour next weekend along with the SCG Open in Cincinnati. Everyone's going to be looking at the results from this weekend.
Yes.
What won Edison? Jund won Edison. All right, how much of a factor is going to play for the Pro Tour? We won't know until next week.
That's right.
Yeah. And how much of a factor will it play for the SCG Open in Cincinnati?
It'll certainly affect the SCG Open in Cincinnati.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of the pros especially from pros from other countries, don't pay as much attention to the Open Series as they do to tournaments in their own continent.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see, particularly the American players.
Okay.
How much they have depended on the Star City Games Open Series to have done some testing for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually spoke with my friend Ben Friedman, and he's going to the Pro next week. He was, really likes to play Blue, White, Red Flash. And I'm saying, hey, why don't you check out Anthony Lowry's deck?
Yeah.
Even though Anthony did not make top 8, he started off 6-0, and he admitted that he made a few mistakes later on in the tournament, and he could have easily made top 8.
Yep.
So when you go to StarCityGames.com and you look at the top 8 deck lists, why not look down to the top 16 deck lists?
Completely
Sometimes we
agree.
post the top 32, the top 64 deck lists. Whatever we post, look at all the deck lists, and you can really get a feel of what decks are strong and what decks might have just got lucky to make a top 8 or whatnot.
Absolutely. I think that much like one of the mistakes that players make when testing is they don't play enough sideboarded games.
Yep, that's definitely true.
Players who look at deck lists pay too much attention to what won, and not necessarily what the best deck in the top 8 was.
Sure, or even the best deck from 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th place.
Yeah.
Missed out on tiebreakers, just got unlucky one round.
Absolutely.
They might have got a game loss for misregistration. You really don't know the backstory until you actually maybe try to talk to the person or try to figure out the whole metagame.
Yeah, the 9th place list yesterday was mono white.
23 planes.
23 planes. Missed out on breakers. We almost had mono white in the top 8.
Yeah,
so, yeah, you definitely want to pay attention all the way down, whatever information is available. I'm sure that all of the pros at the Pro Tour have all that information in mind. How seriously they take that based or against what their current testing is. With all these super teams, they're going to be able to test whatever crazy ideas they have.
I mean, I think SCG plays a really big role, though.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so both players are looking at their hand. Tim's nodding back and forth, left and right, thinking, man, my hat is really cool.
Yeah, that is a nice hat.
Yeah.
It is a little chilly in here. It's warmer today, though.
It is warmer today, yeah. The snow kind of melted, so.
Yeah.
Tim leads off with a turn 1 island.
Not as shiny. I mean, it's probably
shiny,
the same shiny.
Yeah,
but
I think it's just the way it's positioned on the Star City Games table. I was thinking the same thing. All right, so Mike goes on to 18 with a Cataxian Probe.
And he's going to see Force of Will, Spell Pierce.
Ooh, wow, that's a really good hand.
And Brainstorm, oh my.
Yeah, the only thing Tim doesn't really like there is that Rest in Peace right now. Also that Caracas,
I mean, you can't sideboard out lands.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you actually could sideboard out the Dust Ball, and I actually hope he did.
That's true.
Yeah, it just doesn't really do anything. It's only going to be a colorless land. I'd rather have some more of my sideboard cards. So Mike's going to write down Tim's hand. We're looking at a Brainstorm. We're looking at a Force of Will. And we're looking at a Spell Pierce. So he's going to have to fight through 2 counter spells. Spell Pierce plus the Force of Will, yeah.
Because we do still have Brainstorm.
Yeah.
So he could find another... I guess he's going to fight through 2 this turn.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 this turn
way.
if Mike wants to try to go for it.
Yeah.
Next turn it could be more. Tim could easily find a second Force of Will, another blue card, and all of a sudden it's 3.
I think Mike is going to go for it.
We'll see what happens. There's a Spirit Guide. There's
Xanthid
a Swarm.
That's why we didn't go for it. So Xanthid Swarm, very, very
all right,
good.
So right now I would Brainstorm if I was Tim.
There's
what do you
Xanthid
think about that?
Swarm. To Brainstorm here?
First, yeah.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah. I think you want to lead off with the Brainstorm, see what's going to happen.
Xanthid Swarm there on the left. Scourge rare, 0-1 flying. When Xanthid Swarm attacks, defending player can't play spells this turn.
Okay.
Effectively shutting off counter magic.
2. Oh, wow. It's a Terminus. The one Terminus that
wow.
That's what it looks like.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So
and also Pithing Needle.
And Pithing Needle, yeah.
All the
So how is he going to do this with the Terminus?
I think he puts the Terminus on top.
Well, he can't because he only has the island, yeah. So he wants to put Terminus second, and he wants to put Pithing Needle first, I believe.
I think he wants to put Pithing Needle first, or be able to cast Pithing Needle on his next turn.
Yeah, and I think he wants the Xanthias Swarm to resolve. He doesn't want to blow his force
and then the next card down should be Terminus, so that even if Mike plays Empty the Warrens, he will be able to do it. Tim also gets to play the Pithing Needle off of the island.
Yep. All right, there's a Caxian Probe.
Set up very well here.
And he does just that. That's a great play by Tim because he hides the Pithing Needle from Mike.
Yes.
I have to give a lot of credit to Tim for this. It was a Pithing Needle, correct?
It was a Pithing Needle.
Okay, yeah.
And he shows him Aethersworn Canonist.
That's fine to show him the Aethersworn Canonist because that's like less relevant than the Pithing Needle.
Yes.
Because in Mike's head, Mike's thinking, okay, so Tim's just going to go land Aethersworm Canonist. But no, Tim's actually going to go land Pithing Needle.
Yeah. I mean, Canonist is also pretty good.
Yeah, but you still want the needle out there.
Yes.
That's the most important thing.
There's a Lion's Eye Diamond. It's possible Mike just plays this Lion's Eye Diamond here, just to have it in play.
Okay, that's fair.
Because I'm not sure how relevant the Storm is. Although, if he gets Empty the Warrens, he can play his artifacts.
Exactly. So it's kind of a toss-up.
It's 6-1, half dozen the other, yeah.
Also, Tim could force this Lion's Eye Diamond, which he won't do.
No, he won't. I don't think that's worth it.
Definitely not. It's likely, not likely, but there's a good chance that Mike just has another Lion's Eye Diamond and it's just a waste of a Force of Will. Tim playing this game very, very well so far. Actually, he played the match really well.
I think both players have played this pretty well. Mike's
less options, pretty much.
Mike has less options, but also thinner margins.
Exactly, yeah.
And so, Belcher is a surprisingly tricky deck.
Yep. All right, so Mike's...
He does have the Empty the Warrens in hand, does Mike Noble.
Here is a
Simian Spirit Guide for Tinderwall.
Okay.
So he's going to try to empty here. I think.
No, I don't think he has the mana for that.
He's got 0 in his pool right now.
He has a Lotus Petal in his hand.
Right, so he'll have 3. He'll have Tinderwall, Lotus Petal.
I don't think you want to force this, Tim.
I don't think he wants to force this either, but he's going to.
Force it.
Removing the Spell Pierce.
Okay.
I don't think that's a miserable play, especially considering that
he could have the Empty the Warrens.
He could have the Empty the Warrens. We're also playing Pithing Needle this turn.
Yeah.
So that's pretty fortunate.
He wants to probably just drop the Caracas. Ooh.
Canonist.
The Canonist. That's kind of interesting. I would have probably played Pithing Needle there.
I probably would have.
If he puts the Terminus there, doesn't he want to Miracle the Terminus and not... I think it was a Terminus. Doesn't he want to not kill his Canonist?
I believe it was a Terminus.
We'll find out in a second.
It was.
That was a Terminus. So all of a sudden...
Well, he's also got a clock now if he wants to start attacking.
Yeah, but...
I mean, as much as a Grizzly Bear can be a clock.
I really like Needle into Terminus into Canonist this turn.
Same.
This turn he could have played Terminus and then Canonist.
Yeah, I agree.
So I liked how Tim played this game up until this point, I think.
There's Pithing Needle.
Pithing Needle is going to most likely name Goblin Charbelcher.
Most likely, although he can possibly name the...
Mike's trying to trick him into that.
No, he's not going to trick him into that.
Yeah, all right. So there's going to be Goblin Charbelcher. He's writing it in nice redding.
It is not Phyrexian Revoker, which can, in fact, shut off Lion's Eye Diamonds.
All right, so there's a Xanthias Swarm. Just attacks.
Just attacks.
Just for value.
Just for some value.
And Tim's going to attack with his Aethersworn Canonist. Let's see if Tim has a follow-up play. You think he's going to play this Rest in Peace? Probably not.
Just wants the mana.
Yeah. No real point of playing Rest in Peace yet. Can't cast the Helm of Obedience anyway. That's a pretty nice combo. Rest in Peace, Helm of Obedience.
Yep. Picked up a lot. It used to be Leyline Helm.
Yeah.
The problem with that, of course, being a 2 colorless and 2 black spell.
Yeah.
Much harder to cast, even if, assuming you don't have it in play.
Yep.
And it also made you have black in your deck, which at the time was the worst color in Legacy.
Exactly. All right. So Mike shows him a hand of Lotus Petal, Simian Spirit Guide, Is that another Xanthia Swarm?
I think it's a Tinder Wall.
Is it a Tinder
I
Wall?
can't tell.
Okay, so regardless, do you think Mike's going to play Empty the Warrens here?
Well, he can't. He already played Landgrab.
Oh, yeah, sure. You played Landgrab. I forgot about that. I was thinking he's just going to play Lotus Petal.
Oh, it is another Xanthia.
Yeah, okay. So the only spell that Mike can actually play this
is the Lotus Petal.
The Lotus Petal. So he's going to have to wait until next turn.
Yes.
So next turn he can play Empty.
For 4, yeah. Which is a fine thing to do because it'll stop Tim from attacking.
Exactly. But I mean, Mike's in just terrible shape here.
Yeah, very bad shape.
Yeah.
Not the deck he wanted to be playing against today.
Yep. All right, so Tim's going to draw for his turn. And looks like a magic card. I'm not sure what it is, to be honest.
It is an Arid Mesa.
Arid Mesa, makes sense. All right, so Mike falls to 10 life from this Ether Swarm and Canonist attack. And this might be a nice time to play a Rest in Peace. Why not? Tim chooses to play Rest in Peace, and he'll pass the turn. So, Desperate Ritual, drawn from Mike. Not really going to do too much.
Nope.
I believe Mike's at 10 life, correct? Or
Mike is he at 10?
Yeah.
I thought he might be.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 10.
Remember.
We'll get clarification for that in a second.
So there's Storm of 1.
Is it to go discard, discard, or exile, exile?
Exile, exile.
Yep.
And Empty the Warrens.
Empty the Warrens. He's going to have
for
4 Goblin tokens. Do we have Star City Goblin tokens?
Possibly. I believe we do, actually.
Yep. All right, I'm excited to see what they look like. Yeah, Mike is at 10 life. It looks like
gummy
he's trying
bears.
to use the gummy bears. I'm not sure if the judge is going to allow it.
I'm not sure how kosher that is, but
Tim might just
it was an interesting idea.
Yeah.
I like your style.
So just regular Goblin tokens right now? He's probably just going to eat those gummy bears on camera. Oh, he's
sure.
Still going for
Why
him.
not? He's a fanciful chap.
Yep. Maybe Mike's trying to trick Tim into killing those gummy bears and then eating them.
That's right.
Ooh, so Tim draws a Brainstorm. So Tim could Brainstorm and put that Terminus back and then do a Miracle Terminus next turn if he wants to.
Yep. I don't think that's necessary.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's just Mike has no good attack here. I think Tim could just sit back behind the Ether Swarm Canonist and then eventually just win with a Jace the Mind Sculptor or his combo piece with Rest in Peace.
Yeah, I'm not sure he needs to do anything.
Yeah, no real need for Tim to do anything. It's going to be really difficult for Mike to fight through this Ether Swarm Canonist. Swarm attacks for 0. There's another Swarm.
At this point, it's possible Tim can Terminus with his Brainstorm, but there's really no need.
point, yeah. I mean, it looks
may
tempting.
as well just keep making land drops.
You might be thinking, oh, it's a 6 for 1, but not really.
Right, it's not really a 6 for 1. Exactly.
Well, a 6 for 2, I guess, because he would lose his Canonist. Mike just passes the turn. And Tim draws, it looks like a counter spell maybe, or counterbalance?
Counterbalance.
Well, that's good. Counterbalance. It looks like Tim's in firm control of this game.
Absolutely.
Now, are both these players X and O, correct?
XO,
I
believe
X1?
so. I believe both these players are XO.
Okay, awesome. So it looks like there will be at least one blue-white control deck in the top 8.
Yeah.
I know there's lots of blue-white control players out there. We're going to get confirmation. They might actually be X1, maybe even XO1. Someone tweets in that they really want a gummy bear as well.
Yeah.
I kind of want a gummy bear as well, too. XO1 and X1.
So yeah, the control deck is XO1.
Yeah, exactly.
And Mike on the bubble.
Yeah, so if Mike loses this, he's most likely out of top 8 contention. And it looks like Tim will be very close to a top 8 if he wins this one.
Yeah, and Tim, I think that it's safe to say that Tim's in firm control of this game.
Oh, definitely.
But Mike just wants to make sure. Mike has a lot of dead draws, is the problem.
I really can't see any combination of cards here that will make a difference. There's a Brainstorm.
End of turn Tim. Brainstorm. To be able to shuffle away some things.
No, it's in response to these anti-swarms.
Oh, in response to these anti-swarms.
Because the anti-swarms will trigger?
Right.
Yeah. I don't even know if Tim needed the Brainstorm there.
No, he just wants to get rid of some of this excess chaff.
With him having a counterbalance and an Ether Swarm Canonist is just so unlikely for Mike to ever be able to do anything.
He can also put a a commonly played casting cost on top of his library for the counterbalance, just in case Mike tries to go for it this turn.
All right, there's a Timberwall, and that's exactly what
happened.
Yeah, good call, Ruben. There's a Spell Pierce, and Timberwall hits the bin, and Mike will just pass the turn. Tim draws his Spell Pierce.
He wants that Spell Pierce.
Yep. And just a Tundra from Tim.
Now he can shuffle away. The Terminus is on top.
Yeah. Ooh, Sensei's Divining Top.
Yeah, now...
Right, a little bit off the screen, but
we're cooking with peanut oil. I don't think that Mike has an out.
Yeah, exactly.
Now. Assuming Tim's top of his library has any 1s, 2s, or 4s.
Yep.
Or 0s most of the time, actually. It's gonna be tough for Mike to be able to beat any of those casting costs.
Exactly.
Especially if he can just float a 4 on top for the rest of the game.
Now Tim is just looking for something to close out the game. I wouldn't even mind just stacking the Arid Mesa. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen.
Just try to find a Helm, try to find anything that will just close the game out much quicker. Find the Entreat the Angels.
Yeah.
Why not? All right. So Tim is shuffling up his deck. I think Mike should just eat his gummy bears now. I mean, I don't really see him winning this game, so at least he gets some enjoyment out of that. But maybe he's enjoying losing. Why not?
Now, I think that if Tim finds a Jace on top, he should leave it there.
Just to be able to counter the
Goblin Charbelcher.
Goblin
Just to be able to counter Goblin Charbelcher or all the copies of Empty the Warrens.
Yeah. So why not? But he also probably wants to get down Jace and just starts, using the Jace and just end the game.
It would be all the copies of Empty the Warrens, assuming Mike drew more artifacts. Would be all I was trying to say there.
I lost you there, Ruben, but I'll still give you a hug, no problem. All right, so top once again. I see a Terminus, I see a top, and I think I see a Polluted Delta. So Tim probably is just going to draw the Polluted Delta. And now it's just a matter of time that, the blue-white player will take control and end the game. He already has control, now he just wants to end it. Oh, there's a Dust Ball. We thought maybe he sided it out.
And now he's going to sacrifice the Dust Ball.
Oh,
there we go. We figured it out.
Some small victories there. Small victories. All right, so we'll see what happens here. Not too sure what... I mean, I can't imagine Mike pulling out of this.
No.
All right. Let's see. There's the Helm. All right, so that should lock it up right here.
Yep.
Helm of Obedience plus Rest in Peace equals game over.
Right. So Helm of Obedience, for those of you who aren't familiar, is a very, very old card that has been errated many, many times. But basically, it says pay a colorless or pay X and tap. Target player puts X cards into their graveyard until they reveal a land.
Pretty much what it says. If I have Rest in Peace and Helm of Obedience, I win.
You mill your entire deck.
Yeah. So
that's what Mike does.
Way to put it.
And
there it is. All right, so Tim wins. Tim moves on to 6-0-1. 6 wins, 0 losses, 1 draw. And Mike is pretty much out of top 8 contention. He could stay in, try to make top 32, walk home with a little something.
Absolutely worth it.
Why not? All right, so it looks like you guys are tweeting in. If you guys have any other questions for us, let us know. We'll almost always respond to your tweets.
That's right.
All right, so we're going to come back to the booth.